All right, we're recording. Got with me tonight, Mr. Scott Effinger. Saying that right?
Yeah, we can go with that. That sounds good.
So most people I have on, I have like an outline and some history, but I don't know you very well. So let's get a little background. Where'd you grow up?
Perfect. Cool. So originally I'm from Crescent, Pennsylvania, about 2 hours east of here between Altoona and Johnstown, up on the mountain on Route 22 there. Started in the fire service there, March 2006 at the ripe age of 14. Grew up there with my parents were in the fire service. My grandfather was in the fire service. So it was just pretty much a family thing, right? Just like a lot of people. So was hot and heavy into the fire service for about 2 or 3 years until I discovered, the joys of life of, senior year of high school and, some drinks and some friends, and there's other things to enjoy in life. So went to college close to home, and
Where's that?
St. Francis University in Loretto, PA. So 10 minutes from Crescent. Unfortunately, had a pretty close friend passed away in an accident, and that was my sophomore year of college. And we were the first there with the rescue. Pretty bad crash. Close friend, just somebody that everybody loved in town. Tragically passed away, and it was that moment that clicked that I was like, "What am I doing in college? This isn't what I want to do." I was studying accounting. Yeah. What am I doing? I want to be a fireman, Yeah. But it's just a thing you do. Is you go to college, get a degree, and then go from there. But
I got one of those, and I don't use it.
Right? I got a picture on the wall too. I can print something out. But so after that, buddy of mine got me to do a ride along at Monroeville 4, started to get me back into the fire service. Went to Monroeville 4 for a couple ride alongs, was like, this is pretty cool. Started to look at the whole live-in thing. And then I get a phone call. I was also looking at Richland Township. That's just outside of Johnstown.
Yeah, we had Chris Myers.
Yep, Chris, great dude. I actually tested Lebo with Chris. I actually drove Chris here, so I'd like to take credit for him getting hired. So Chris, if you ever listen to this, you're welcome. But no, so I got a phone call from Richland Township saying, "Hey, you want a room?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." So that was in 2012, and moved in there. Moved my way up through the ranks there. I was lieutenant there, did the board of directors thing, just really got back into the fire service, fallen in love with it. Got real fortunate, worked some weird jobs, got my EMT, became a deputy coroner, weird enough, which was an amazing experience. Did that for just under 2 years, so not very long, but long enough. It was in 2016, 2017 I was in, so it was the height of, we'll call the drug pandemic maybe in Johnstown. We were running a great deal of overdoses. A lot of things were going on in the office at the time.
How's one get into that?
Have a black cloud in EMS in Johnstown. It's great to build a rapport with everybody working EMS, but whenever the coroner knows you by your first name, it's kind of, kind of look up and you're like, "Oh man, I might really have that cloud that everybody's talking about." You know what I mean? So, the normal route everybody does, living in a firehouse, gets their EMT, works at 5-6 different EMS services. So I was working in Johnstown at the time. So got to meet the coroner a lot, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to give it a shot?" And I'm like, "What do I got to lose?" I think it was 21 at the time, living at a firehouse. Like, I ain't got nothing to lose. Let's do it. Yeah. So man, I'll tell you what an amazing experience that was in a very short, condensed time. Boy, I really learned a lot about myself and where I want to be in life. And,
not dead.
Yeah. Right. 6 feet above, not 6 feet below. I like my heart to keep going, not to stop. But, so I did that for just under 2 years whenever I got hired by Frederick County, Division of Fire Rescue down there in Maryland.
What led you down there? Just you're applying random places?
The norm. Yeah. Just applying wherever. I was actually finishing up an interview in Virginia Beach, for the fire department down there. I was coming across General Booth Boulevard, and my phone went off, pulled over the side of the road, and I was like, no shit. Cool. Report to Frederick County, Maryland, recruit class 23. Guess we're in.
Nice.
So started that in 2019, December 1st of 2019.
How big of a recruit class was that?
There was, I believe, 32 of us in there. So it was man, I'll tell you what, I needed that slice of humble pie. Being a live-in, being a lieutenant, been there a couple years in Richland. I was really riding a high of, I was getting a ego. I'm sure a lot of people would say. I went down there to Frederick County, man, to a 28-week paramilitary academy, and I needed that in the worst way. I'll tell you what, to swallow my pride, I'll say that. That was a lot. You get the excitement of taking a job. You go to family night, the first day, and it's a shock of, you're nobody. You're back to square one. You're the same as somebody coming off the street that has no experience. So, I thought I was in okay shape. I hired a personal trainer, a couple months before the academy, and it wasn't long enough. So, grinded that 28 weeks out, became very close with my recruit class. A lot of great instructors, man, a lot of amazing people down there in Frederick County. And boy, do I miss those folks down there. But yeah, went through the academy there, came out, got my first assignment. I was in Urbana down 23. It's on the Montgomery, Frederick County line. And then I was in Frederick County for just under 5 years. Towards the end, whenever I got with my now wife, I was doing the commute back and forth. In the middle of all that, I decided to get laser eye surgery because I was tired of wearing glasses, and ended up having a slight complication from that surgery. Ended up losing vision in my left eye. And so a whole thing went on, and I was off work for about a year and a half. And I'll tell you what, man, you want to talk about people say that the brotherhood's dead, and it's not, man.
Yeah.
Those guys worked for me so I could keep a paycheck.
Wow.
And man, to this day, those people are very near and dear to my heart, and I was never able to repay everybody. And I'll give a quick shout out, everybody that helped me through that time, man. That was, I can't say thank you enough for guys that stepped up and worked for me. Guys I didn't know. There's officers working down for me from their position just to help me out. So just so I keep a paycheck while I went through that. Awesome. So got through that, went back to work light duty, and I got assigned to the academy. It was where my light duty went to, or my light duty assignment, I guess we should say. And that's where I got to meet a lot of amazing people, man, and a lot of great opportunities that I don't think I normally would have been afforded.
Yeah.
Life works in mysterious ways, and, people believe in a lot of different things, and, there's a reason for things happening. You curse, why did this thing happen to me? And, there's a good in it for, you got to deep dive. Everybody looks on the surface of, well, it happened to me. Well, shit, this is a bad scenario.
Yeah, don't be a victim.
Take a step back. Don't victimize yourself. There's a good in everything, regardless of the scenario or what you're in, there's a reason that you're in it. And take that step back and get that 30,000 foot view of, what's really going on. Take the lesson from it. And I had a hard time seeing that lesson until I got into the academy, and I was able to get my instructor and all that and start teaching. And man, boy, that just really lit the fire again, going to the academy, humble pie, graduated, and, you're riding high. And the cool thing is, when I graduated, that was the day that my brother also graduated from Hagerstown's Academy.
Oh, nice.
So, man, what an amazing experience. Walked across that stage, and my brother pinned me, and my brother's 6 years older than I am, but that was him and I's first career jobs. And dude, I'll never forget it. He pinned me on the stage, put that badge on my chest, and he's like, dude, we did it. And man, I'll tell you what, boy, man, he said that, and I was like, man, you dick, you're going to make me, I pulled a nose hair out, and, it wasn't a tear or nothing, but,
was he a volunteer with you?
Yeah, he was, in Crescent, he was a volunteer, and then he lived outside of Johnstown, was a volunteer in some smaller departments outside of there, and so he's still on the job down in Hagerstown now. He's a lieutenant.
Nice.
So big shout out to my brother, man. It's following his footsteps. Always chasing him. That dude set an example for me. Like, that's the guy I want to be.
That's awesome.
So that moment we got to share on that stage in Frederick was, man, I'll never forget it. That was a cool experience. But yeah, back to the academy life. Got to finish off all my instructor stuff. Ultimately got to teach a Firefighter 1 class to a group of recruits. which was a really cool experience, man. You know, you get 30-some students, and I'm one of the first faces you see when you come to Frederick County, and it's like, should I be here right now? Like, I'm just a little boy from central Pennsylvania. Like, what the hell do I know, you know? So, man, what a cool experience. I had a lot of great people that backed me up. Captain Mike Webb, BC Malta, shout out to my buddy Hank Henline, and a lot of other amazing people down there. But those guys I really relied on. They really helped me get me through that time and get me back to full duty.
Hey, your eye looks good now.
Yeah, you can't even tell, right? You know, I'm not twitching or nothing. Get to wear a cool piece of plastic on my eyeball every day. Yeah. It's real cool. You should try it out if you ever get bored, you know. But then, went back to full duty, and 3.5 hours one way is a lot for me. And it was too much. I wanted to spend time with my wife, and, you know, it was a lot. And South Strabane had an opening, and let's do it. You know, 10 minutes down the road versus 3.5 hours. And I miss my folks in Frederick, but I love my wife, and that's who I spend my life with, and my pups. So that was an easy decision, man. You know, South Strabane, here I come, Western Pennsylvania. I didn't know the difference between a North Strabane and a South Strabane when I got up here. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody. So it was another kind of slice of humble pie of, hey, you're brand new. Nobody knows me. They just know I was a hallman down in Maryland. Now I'm here. What am I doing here? You know? So came up here, got on a job, got a part-time job at Peters Township as well. Just getting the lay of the land. And then ultimately I'm taking a promotion to captain, you know, and that's where we're at today.
Nice.
And then, took the position as president of the union as well. So why not? I was bored. You know, you get bored, whatever. You know, if I look at it, you know, there's a lot of opportunities in life, and a lot of people, I think, you know, they don't take it for out of fear or whatever, you know, they want to say. But, you know, Western Pennsylvania, it's very small departments, and, you know, you got you and your driver, and there's opportunities that are afforded to you, and you got to take them. Don't be scared to do it. You know, I'm 34 years old, and I should still be riding backstep, but we don't have that luxury out here, along in many other places across the country as well. But, you know, these opportunities, if you're the right person for the job, you got to take it. You know, unfortunately, you don't get to take the time to spend 5-10 years as backstep or just driving or whatever it may be. If there's an opportunity that you need to take it. What's best for your department, if you're the mission, and if you're a mission first kind of person, then you know what you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, about South Strabane, I've only learned as much as I've either talked to you or talked to Scott. You've been there how many years now?
4 years.
So you've seen the kind of transition, right? Like
huge transition, man. We got a new fire chief in a couple years ago, and
before then there was
it was different. Yeah. You know, I was accustomed to a lifestyle of, you know, when I hear a box alarm come in Maryland, you know, 5 engines, 2 trucks, a rescue, battalion chief, safety officer, ambulance, you know, everybody's coming. And I'll never forget my first shift, City of Washington, dropped a box alarm, and I just go running because that's what I'm accustomed to, and I didn't know that's a fire alarm up here. So that was like, man, I got a lot to learn. But yeah, so things were a little different. Got a new fire chief in. They've come leaps and bounds, man, from where we were. A lot of progression. We got 2 new fire trucks. We got the rescue engine that's running now. Got the new ladder truck that's about to go in service. 107-foot Pierce Ascendant, man. We are so excited about it. Had a really good truck committee. Got a lot of good equipment that's going to go onto that truck.
The graphics are kind of
Yeah, that guy, Scott Bullen, if anybody ever, you know, needs graphics on a fire truck, you know, Scott, I don't know if I'd be the first one. But
I'd love to talk shit, but if it wasn't for Scott, I wouldn't have any podcast artwork either. So shout out to Scott.
Oh, huge shout out, man.
Posts.
What a great guy, man. Great guy. Talk about an outstanding dude, man. Took the fire service, you know, head on, and just, you know, you kind of envy those folks that come into it later in life, or just starting from square one later in life, and it's like, man, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah,
you know,
we run that SHAKOG program out of our fire station, and I mean, the number of guys you see in there in their 30s and 40s. I mean, when I went through Essentials, I did it in 2 weeks.
Right.
I mean, the hours were there. It was full time, you know, Monday through Friday for 2 weeks. But if you were to tell me right now at 39 that I had to go to all those classes at night and all the Saturdays, I give those guys credit. That's a lot.
100%, man. Yeah,
So,
200 some hours of, giving up family time, professional life, and everything. Yep. I love the job, but that's a lot.
Yeah. So when you started there too, from what I know from Scott, the volunteers and the career personnel did not get along very well.
Yeah, there was a lot of work that needed done. And, at the end of the day, it's the same job, regardless if I'm fortunate enough to get a paycheck or not. So it ended up breaking those barriers of like, hey man, my roots are volunteer and they always will be. It's no different. We need to work together. There's a mission here, and the mission's first. So, it took some time, but, we broke the barrier, and now I would say, is a great relationship. We're able to call on each other. The friendships are there. So, we've come a long way, man. I'll tell you what, a long way. A lot of hard work. A lot of sleepless nights, as you know how it goes. But doing a lot better. A lot of progress still to come. But
what was the schedule like in Maryland, Frederick?
24-48.
Okay.
And then when I came to South Strabane, we were doing what was it?
10s and 14s?
No, it was an 8 and 2. What was it? 16s, I think. It was if you worked Monday daylight, you worked Tuesday and Thursday 7A to 11P. If you worked Monday 3 to 11, then you worked Wednesday, Friday 7A to 11P. Adjustment.
Yeah.
I always screwed up the schedule. I was texting people I was working with. I was like, hey, do we work today? I just couldn't. I couldn't grasp it. And then we went. We had that tragic fire in 23 Thomas Campbell high rise. And then we got the 24-hour staffing. So we went to 210s, 214s, and then ultimately we went to the 24-48 with Kelly. Before
the fire chief that's there now, who organized the department? Was there a volunteer chief, or was it run to municipality?
Yeah, there was a career chief.
Oh, there was? Okay.
Yeah, there was a career chief, and then there was also a fire chief of the volunteers as well.
Okay. Yeah. I think you'll see a lot of that more around here in the next, 5-10 years.
It has to happen, man. Consolidation, that's the key. That's the future. Financially, things got to get figured out. But, I mean, when you come down to our small corridor of Route 19, everybody's sharing employees.
Yeah.
I look at everybody's resumes, and I can circle 2 names that are the same, and it's like, what's the future look like for us?
Yeah.
What do we need to duplicate all the resources and services that we have? How can we do this that it's the best for, person having their worst day? What do our citizens need the most from us, and how can we benefit them the most? And is consolidation the future? Absolutely. I think it is. But obviously it's got to be done right. And there's a lot of things that got to get worked out, above us, as the boots on the ground. So I think the future is bright. But just like everything else, there's going to be bumps in the road.
Yeah. Operationally, big changes from being down there to coming up here?
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, you get out of the academy and, they build you up and you're going to be the best firefighter you can be. And then day one, you go out and they're like, here's your aid bag and there's your ambulance. And, don't even worry about a fire truck for a minimum of 6 months. Yeah. And it's like, cool, man. Like, you got to earn it, like that badge on your chest means something. That patch means something. And it's real easy to lose sight of, man. You know how it is. You get into that slump of, whether you're that 3 to 5 year guy. That was always my big concern, in a bigger department, you start to lose those people in the numbers of, you're off probation and now you're just kind of vibing it out. Pretty big change of, coming from you're mopping the floors, you're the first to eat, but you're the first one done. Get everything clean, mop the floors. You're not watching TV. You're studying your Proby book, all that good stuff. You're making operational decisions day one.
You have to be a little bit of everything.
You don't get to hide. And that's what I love about it the most, man. I'll tell you what, we cover 24 square miles down there, and we have an awesome first due. And that is one of the biggest things, man, is, we got the interstates, the infrastructure, and, the high hazards that we have down there. We never know what we're going to get, and it's awesome. But also, there's only you and your driver, so it's go time.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people see it. And when I tell them about it, and they're like, man, I don't know if it's for me. But I'm like, dude, listen, you get to grow so much as a firefighter in these small departments that you wouldn't get to do in bigger departments, just because now you're in the seat. There's nowhere for you to hide. Yeah. Somebody has to drive and somebody's riding the seat. So, even just because you're the driver doesn't mean you're not going to run command. There's numerous times that I will punt command to my driver. It's just the way of the world. I mean, we're out in a rural setting, or, I get somewhere that doesn't have real good radio reception for whatever reason, big building, whatever it is. I got to punt that over to my driver. So, training's a little different in a small department. It's hard when it's you and your drivers, that's it on your crew, but, you got to break the barriers, break that awkwardness. And your training is, you're training at, battalion chief levels. You're making decisions, in that first couple minutes that, BCs make that took 20 years to get to, to get to that comfort level. We had a fire a couple months ago. We pull in, it's my driver and I got 3 trailers off, and multiple people are telling us that, there's no entrapment. And then I get out of the truck and all of a sudden there's entrapment in one of the trailers. And it's like, it's me and my driver, EMS crew, and a guy that is a 911 dispatcher now works part-time with us. And it's like, I got 30 seconds to figure this out. You got to put the fire out. You got to get the victim out. You got to establish a water supply, make sure 911 knows what's going on, make sure I got all these resources coming, and that's what I thrive on. I love that the most with our area down there is like, you got to make decisions, man. You ain't got time to second guess yourself. You come back and hot wash and figure it out and move on.
Hold on one second. I have children in the house that apparently have an emergency that we need to attend to right now. All right, we're back. Apparently the emergency was if someone's name is a sentence or not, so I had to answer that question. Sorry about that.
Don't worry, Dad did a great job.
Yeah. Mom's not home, so we're in charge of 2 kids and 2 dogs as we speak. So, cool, man. What do you do outside the fire service? What's fun for Scott?
Wife and I travel a lot.
Well, you mentioned you got eloped. That's some travel.
Yeah.
Screw this place. We're getting married somewhere else.
It was a decision we made laying on the couch. We were watching TV and our pups were laying with us, and we were already going to Vail, Colorado for a trip. And I don't know who said it first. I will give all the credit to my wife because I'm not the smart one. And she's like, I think we should take advantage of it and get married. And I was like, yeah, I think we should. And so 2 weeks, we decided that night and we're like, oh shit, we're getting married in 2 weeks. Cool. Let's figure this out. So went to Hometown Jeweler from where she's from. She's from Berlin, PA. So just south of Johnstown a little bit.
Do you guys meet out that way? While you were working in Maryland, or
no? We met through a mutual friend when I was younger. She's a couple years older than me, but I was the annoying little brother of the group, and then I grew up, and we'll leave it at that. Yeah. So I don't get hit, but but no, man. Yeah. So 2 weeks we went to Jeweler back home. She got her dress. I figured out an outfit. We met with a couple different photographers on Zoom and picked the Whitney, shout out to her. She's amazing, dude. What a cool chick. She hooked us up with this spot called Piney Lake, up above Vail, up in the mountains, and we're like, cool, we're doing this. So out in Colorado, dogs can witness your marriage license. So
there you go.
As a little secret, I took the dog's paw prints and made stamps. So after we eloped, we signed our marriage license up there at Piney Lake, and then we used the dog stamps to witness, and then that went on the record. So
Colorado.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, so my wife and her business partner was up there with us, and then eloped, went back down into Vail, partied it up, and yeah.
Family get pissed?
Everybody knew. Nobody was surprised because of the way Ella and Scott lived their lives. I mean, my mom will text me and be like, "Oh, where are you going today?" And I'll be like, "We just landed in Turks and Caicos. How you doing?" So nobody was surprised. Yeah. Everybody was so excited for us, man. Yeah, we got back down into Vail, back into the area where there's service, and we started calling people, and everybody's like, "We knew it." So it was cool, man. It was perfect for us. That's who her and I are, man. We love to get out and travel. That's what we do. And yeah, so traveling, we went to Europe for our honeymoon. Well, technically, any trip after, you get married. We call it a honeymoon, get the perks, whatever. I don't care. It's not below me. But no, we went to Europe for 20 something days.
Nice.
We were in Italy and in Switzerland and Amsterdam and London, and went to a Taylor Swift concert in Italy. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I suggest it. I was a big fan.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, we travel all over. Also, we have a camper down at her family's property down outside of Grantsville, Maryland. Okay. So we take the pups down there, spend a lot of time down there, try and get out skiing as much as I can, go out fishing. And then, that's about it.
Nice. What's on the future for you? Anything like where you're at?
No, man. I love, when I tested Lebo, I tested with Dan Morris, I tested with Chris Myers, right? And I'll never forget it. So we tested, went down to, Lebo Subs, had lunch, came back, finished it off, went home. And it was a couple of weeks, the results came out. And Dan Morris, I know he'll listen to this, and he texted me, he's like, man, I don't remember the exact words, but he said something along the lines of in this text message, man, I feel bad for this guy. I don't know who this idiot is. I was like, son of a bitch, I was the cut. Damn. You know what I mean? So, it wasn't meant to be at the time. But, I don't know what my future holds, man. I just know it's going to be with my wife and the pups, and wherever this crazy world takes us, it takes us. But, it's an amazing journey. I've been very blessed so far, and I'm holding on tight, man. Wherever it takes me, it takes me. Just happy to be wherever I can be, and wherever I can make a positive impact, I can. And that's where it's at.
Cool, man. Best experience you've had so far in the fire service, whether it was a good job or training or anything good?
A lot of experiences.
Putting his spot. I'm just looking. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Yeah. You can open another beer.
Man, I've had a lot of experiences so far. I've been very blessed. I'm very young, but I've had a lot of cool experiences. I mean, we can go back to that accident in 2011, 2012. When that taught me that there's more important things in life, and following your passion is where it's at. I could you get a degree and work that that job that I don't love, or I can take a leap. I'm going to drop out of college and I'm going to move into a fire station, and we're just going to figure out where life takes me, and boy, I'm so happy I made that decision. And I'm really happy that, I took that leap and moved into Richland, lived with some awesome dudes. A couple guys are on, everybody I've lived with is on the job. You name it, they're all over Harrisburg, Frederick, Howard County, Montgomery County.
Yeah. I didn't really know much about there until Chris came here.
Yeah. The three house. Oh yeah.
And now he's back there now.
Yep.
They've got some paid staffing, and he seems to be steering the ship in the right direction.
Oh yeah, man. Chris is a great dude, great head on his shoulders, and they'll get that ship to where it needs to be. But yeah, man, I moved in, there was, I don't know, 8 to 12 live-ins at a time. I think something like that. Maybe it dropped to 6, but man, what an amazing experience. Anybody that wants a career in the fire service, go be a live-in. Man, it teaches you a lot about yourself. You get to run calls days and nights.
They do EMS there?
No.
But they were pretty busy, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were, I think, somewhere around, I don't know, 1,600 to 2,000 calls a year, something like that. Ran a lot of fires. Man, what a lot of great experiences. Got to meet a lot of great people. Being a live-in officer was a great experience, trying to be in charge of, anybody from 18 to, I don't know, 25, 30 years old. How the heck do you corral those guys in?
Yeah.
So it was a great experience for me as well to grow and learn, But yeah, boy, I can't speak enough on Richland. That's a very special place in my heart. Shout out to Todd Schaefer and Bob Heffelfinger, Lester Blau, Wes Myers. There's a lot of guys I'd love to give a lot of shout outs to, but Jim Habercorn's another one. A lot of great guys, a lot of mentors I've had throughout my time that I can still call to this day. You're just having a down and out day. And you're like, man, am I making the right decision? Am I, I'm 34 years old. I'm a captain. What the hell am I doing? I should be doing this. For God's sake, I should be in the back seat or I should be driving. And these guys give you a little confidence boost, like get your head out of your ass. Like, you're good, man. You're making the right decisions. It's just a bad day. It's a bump. It's cool. You're going to have many bigger bumps in the road that are going to cause way more anxiety and stress than this little incident you're having now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Cool. I'm trying to think of other shit to talk about. Like I said, everybody else, we've kind of had an agenda.
Yeah.
I knew Scott was coming. We're just going to kind of shoot the shit.
Dude, I'm all about it. Yeah. I'll shoot shit all day long.
What,
I did a little teaching for the IFC, traveled around the country teaching about mentoring.
Yeah.
That was a cool experience. I got to meet a lot of cool people. A lot of different perspectives in life, teaching in Maine versus Florida versus Kansas City versus Dallas, Texas, that really helped me a lot. Opened my eyes up to, there's more ways to look at this. And you try to be successful in this career and, you always feel like you're failing and you get different perspectives of it, and you bring that home, and just like everything else, you take a couple other ideas and morph them into yours. And man, I learned a lot on the road, getting to teach that, teaching about mentoring programs. Everybody does it. Everybody does mentoring. It's more of an informal setting, right? Not a lot of people put the name mentor program on as the title, it may be standoffish or for whatever it may be, but, just getting to travel around just to see everybody's perspectives and how people are doing things, in a small rural town in Maine, the way that, they're getting recruitment, they're a summer town and, not a lot of people there. So how do they make things go? And how do you mentor somebody that you've known since they were born versus, a bigger department that's, maybe in Hawaii and they're trying to do a mentoring program to bring the career and volunteer departments together. Totally different perspectives, but you can take those ideas and morph them into yours and be successful that way. So that was really, really cool experience, that I got to do, it was a little over a year. Got to teach a couple of different classes, but yeah, mentoring is pretty near and dear to my heart, man. I mean, nobody would be where they're at without mentors. It's informal, and you may not know people are mentors, but they're your mentors.
Yeah.
And that's trying to always respect that and pay homage to those guys that came before you to get you to where you're at. They're always your biggest cheerleaders, and you just don't know it. They may be on the surface, they're hardcore and they might tell you suck, but really they're building you up and they're pushing you to get better, and they see the potential in you and they really push you to get better. And that's, it's just hard to, you don't want to lose sight of that. And a lot of people lose sight of that. They're like, this mentor got me through this one tough time. They might be able to get you through a lot more, or maybe, maybe that one instance was it. But yeah, trying to teach the next generation, you got to remember what your mentors taught you and hold that near and dear to your heart to pass on to the next generation. You don't want to be the old guy at 80 years old being, damn kids, they don't know anything that we went through. You don't want to be that guy. Yeah. So you just want to leave it better than you found it, just like everybody else, man. So
do any teaching around here nowadays?
No, man. My
state of Pennsylvania instructor,
my cousin jumps in me all the time. Joe Adams from Crescent. He's still a teacher. He's like, one thing I asked you to do before I die is get your PA suppression instructor or be a suppression instructor. I said, hey, I got mine in Maryland. I was a MIFRE instructor, so that counts. But
no reciprocity?
Maybe, yeah, no reciprocity. Not yet, but one day I will. Just with everything going on with current state of affairs with union, life, travel. I love doing the in-house thing. If anybody around the area wants to, hit me up for help.
All right, so my son is stuck in the neighbor's yard.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll get him out.
Deploy the Shake Hog team.
Yeah, we'll immediately get TRT out here. All right, tell him I'll be up in a minute, all right? Okay. That's the beauty of the Eastside Fireman's Chat here.
Yeah.
Constantly interrupted.
We got to be flexible.
Yeah, absolutely. Any words of wisdom, closing statements, regards, advice for the future, anything good?
Yeah, man, take those opportunities. I mean, it's okay to be scared and cautiously optimistic, but take those opportunities. There's somebody put you in that position for a reason. And a lot of great things can happen for you. The road's always going to be bumpy. It's never going to be clear. The sun's not always going to be shining, but, take that leap, man. Take that opportunity, because the mission needs people like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be my best tidbit for everybody. It's my TED Talk. So take the opportunities, man. Take that leap of faith. It's going to be rocky. It's going to be bumpy. It's not going to feel great. But man, at the end of the day, when you put those final retirement papers in, or you're done with the fire service, you can look back and smile and say, you know what, I did have a positive impact, and I took those opportunities that were afforded to me because I was the right person for the job. Again, you go to a small department. Promotion time comes. I don't want to be promoted. I just want to I love driving. That's my thing. I love driving. I love rural water movement. I love doing that stuff. I
think that's something that's often overlooked. I mean, you kind of talked about it earlier, like these smaller departments, like you get to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, man.
And
that's why I love it. At 24 square miles, man, South Strabane, we're first due trucking into the city of Washington, and then I sneeze and we're out in rural country where I have no hydrants.
Yeah.
And now where's our water coming from? Who's my relay pumper? We nurse tanker operations, all this good stuff. And everybody's like, ooh, what's jet siphoning? And it's like, I got you. Come with me. Come with me. I got you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I love it so much, man. Like you're in it. You don't have a choice to not be in it.
Yeah.
You signed up for the job. You tested here. I didn't force you to be here. I may have encouraged you a lot to come test, but at the end of the day, you're the adult making the decision. And people take these jobs and they're like, man, this really sucks. I got to do a lot. And it's like, well yeah. Surprise. Yeah. I don't know. Did you expect this to be a 4-person engine company or a truck company? It's just not. It's not in the cards. I mean, it's just. You can't do it financially. It's too expensive. So you just, at the end of the day, adaptability. How do you adapt and overcome? We work very close with our mutual aid departments. We're always training with the guys from City of Washington, North Strabane, Chartiers, North Franklin, Amwell, Canton Township. You have to rely on everybody. You don't. The days of I'm taking care of my town and that's it. Those are long gone. I'm sorry, but to be efficient and be successful, you have to rely on your mutual aid.
You have to be comfortable with them.
Yeah, you got to get out of take that step. It's going to be an uncomfortable step, but we start working towards consolidation or those JOGs or something to that nature. Again, mission first. How can we best serve our citizens? Do we need to duplicate all the equipment that we have, or can we use what, somebody else has?
You guys, mutual aid wise, pretty squared away down there. Is there any outliers that are like, nope, not helping you?
Oh no, man, we're all good.
Yeah.
We'll go. I'm not, this is not a bad term, but I got a group of degenerates that just want to go to fires and do fireman stuff. You know what I mean? So they'll go anywhere, anytime, no matter what, whether it's tanker ops in the middle of the night, whether it's, we have the South Junction to fly over. It's 129 feet. I got a tractor trailer hanging off of that. It's go time. Yeah. It's you and your driver, and maybe you have a third, maybe. Yeah. But saddle up, partner. You're up. You're making the decisions, and and that was a big push why we were able to get the ladder truck. Chief did a hell of a job of marketing for it. We have a 70-foot Suffin, and we got multiple buildings that thing won't reach. So this truck's going to be huge for our area and a lot of our mutual aid partners. Especially when it comes to the rope rescue. We got the life pulley system on it. So nice. We invested a lot of money into our rope cache, if you will. Yeah, man, just looking forward to the future. We got a lot of great people down there. A lot of great departments down there, people in the right position, just getting us to where we need to be. Best serve the citizens, mission first, and don't be scared to take those opportunities just because you don't think you're the right person for the job. You probably are the right person for the job. Don't be scared.
Cool, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, brother. I appreciate the invite. This was awesome. Thank you very much.
Anytime. We're going to go drink like 5 more beers and get my son out of my neighbor's yard. So
for sure. Stand by, TRT teams.
Yep. Later.